Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee is dropping
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bizzles up in the hizzle. Today's studio guest is Nick Santonastasso. What's cracking, dude?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me on here.
Man, I'm sure people have heard your story and where you've been, but I appreciate you coming up here and sharing with us today.
I appreciate you.
Now, have you heard Dropping Bombs before?
I have.
How many of them?
I saw the one with Ed.
One was enough?
Ed Millette. Oh, I love Ed.
Yeah, Ed's great.
Yeah.
Ed had a good show.
Yeah.
But is that the only one you've heard?
I've seen you and Grant.
Have you listened to the episode?
Yeah.
So two's enough for you?
No, I guess, yeah. No, Ed Millette, Grant, and
Yeah,
I think those.
But you heard of some good ones. I mean, there's some juvenile ones as well.
Yeah.
So just so you know what Dropping Bombs is all about, we just basically shoot the shit a little bit and talk about problems, situations, challenges that might be out in the world, and talk about them. And people that listen might pick up a thing or two that'll help them.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Some golden nuggets.
Some golden nuggets. So you're into fitness,
I am.
from what I understand.
Yes.
Now, tell me about ranch dressing.
Ranch dressing, Brad thinks it's not fattening, so we're going to do a little trial and error and run that a little split test and see if
Yeah,
ranch is fattening.
that's what I want to do.
And butter. He likes butter.
And use you as the guinea pig.
I'm on it.
Because you're already ripped, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I'm in my off season right now, so not as much as I'd like to be, but yeah.
But normally you have a six-pack.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect test subject.
To start.
Yeah, because all you need to do is just allow ranch into your program. Right now you have no ranch, correct?
Nope. So implement it.
See, so most people just eliminate ranch and then they blame the ranch because in the absence of ranch, you get fit.
Yeah. That's
So
what they say it is.
you can't have ranch. I say bullshit on that. I say, I'll bet that you can introduce ranch into your program and you will still get the results.
Okay. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to implement some ranch and butter into my program.
No, you got to do them separate. Otherwise, you
Okay.
won't know who the culprit is.
Got it.
You can't, you have to isolate. You test the ranch first. If 2 months later you're still ripped, what's
It's not
that?
the ranch. It's not the ranch. You
That's
got
right.
it. You got it.
Now, if you do ranch and butter and you're not ripped, guess what? You don't know who to blame.
Yep.
Can you have ranch or butter?
You'll never know.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Unless you test it out.
So you test it, and you're the greatest test subject ever because you have a six-pack, and we'll know if after 2 months you don't, and all you introduced was ranch, that's the only difference,
You're right.
then ranch has been eliminated from
Being
protocol.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
So there you go. We're going to do the ranch test with Nick.
Testing it out.
And before I forget, folks, make sure that you share this episode out. Bring us a few friends to share Dropping Bombs with. It's in the top 50. I'm trying to get in the top 10 and then the number 1. I want to beat my boy Andy Frisella. He's always in the top 10.
He is.
He's got a huge following.
He's killing it. He's crushing it.
Yeah, well, he has good content too, man. I like his shit.
Me too.
He seems a little angry sometimes.
He's aggressive.
Yeah, he seems a little angry
That's his
about
approach.
it. That's a style.
Yeah.
But he's not angry, man. That's just how he is.
Absolutely.
You've hung with him for a while, huh?
I've known Andy through the fitness industry. Yeah, so we've been in contact, and I know all the guys at First Form, and they have an amazing team over there. Amazing people. It's like a family. It is a family.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Okay. So obviously you have a story. Now your story is you were born without legs and the arm,
Yes.
and obviously that shit didn't stop you because you're still running around doing everything. Then you become fitness champion. How'd you do that? Tell me your story.
Yeah, so I was born with Hanhart syndrome, and what Hanhart syndrome is a super rare genetic disorder that either leaves the babies with undeveloped limbs or undeveloped organs. And I was born in 1996, I'm 21, and at the time of my birth, I was the 12th baby in the world that they've ever seen this happen to. And so, out of the 12 babies, being the 12th, the 8 of them, 8 of the babies prior had passed away due to undeveloped organs. So, upon being born, they basically gave my doctors, my parents a 30% chance, that I had a 30% chance to live. And so I was born, and they did tests on my organs, and my organs were 100% healthy. And that's why, living in a state of gratitude, and gratitude is a big, pillar in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, growing up, I have to thank the way my parents raised me for, the mindset I have. And what I mean by that is, my parents at the earliest of ages basically engraved in my head, Nick, the world's not going to stop for you because you're born like this. That's the bottom line. And mom and dad aren't going to be around all the time. So you're going to have to figure out how to do each and everything that life throws at you Nick's way, your way. And so they would put, food in front of me and say, figure it out. Or they put my clothes in front of me and say, figure it out. And by them doing that, basically got my, my mind in this rhythm of, okay, challenges are going to come, but it's not can't. It's not we get flustered and say, oh my God, I can't do this, but it's how. And we take different approaches. So, my whole life, from the littlest things, like I said, from eating and getting dressed, I always knew that things were going to be hard, but I just got to adapt and figure out which way I can accomplish it. So, growing up, I didn't realize I was different. Before middle school, as a young kid, I didn't realize too much that I was different, to be honest. I didn't realize that I had an aide in school and I was in a wheelchair. It just, I didn't realize it until I got into middle school, and I label middle school and high school as like my lowest point. And
Is that when dickhead started talking shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So middle school it was a big slap in the face, kind of. I think we can all agree, middle school, high school, probably the most judgmental times of kids going into that space and that area of their life. And I finally realized how it was different. Some kids pointing at me and saying things, and it was just like a reality check. And I was at this point in my life where I was literally I was disgusted with myself. I was disgusted with my body. I didn't want to look into a mirror. I didn't want to go in public.
Did you grow up in the same town?
I did.
So when you raised up through the schools, people already knew who you were.
Yeah, I was.
So that probably softened it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had I always say I had the best set of friends. I had a great community, but there's always some kids that they're gonna do that. So I was at this point in my life where I was like, why? Why me? Why am I born like this? Why do I have to go through all this stuff? And I was just, like I said, I didn't want to go in public, and I just hated my body. And when I got into high school, I realized, I have one life, and I have to play the hand that life dealt me to the best of my ability. And I need to find something that's going to fulfill me. I need to find something that's going to, implement self-confidence, into me, because I thought you were either, born with confidence or you didn't have it, but I realized that it was a skill, in high school, that it's something I need to work on. And so my freshman year, I tried out for the bowling team. And, I was trying to find something that was going to make me feel better, be a part of a team, be part of a community, and just make me feel better about myself. So my freshman year, I tried out for the bowling team, and you have your JV and your varsity. So your varsity is your starting lineup, and your JV's not your starting lineup. And I remember our JV was undefeated until I joined the team, and I gave them their first loss. And I realized that, bowling wasn't for me. So I needed to find something else.
It's kind of like my basketball and wrestling story.
It is. So
I figured out quickly it wasn't for me either.
Yeah, so I figured out, bowling wasn't for me, and I needed to find something, like I said, was going to make me feel better about myself and be a part of something bigger. And at the time, all my best friends were wrestlers from my high school. And my older brother was a wrestler for the same high school. I never got to go to school with him, but he wrestled for that team. So I was just organically, looked up to wrestlers as athletes and everything. And I said, my friends were like, Nick, you're always preaching for people to try different things, try new things, put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Why not wrestling? And I said, my arm. And at the time, my right arm, my right limb was about 5 inches longer than it is now. And my bone was growing faster than my skin. So I was in extreme pain, and I couldn't really touch my arm on anything. I couldn't hit it. So I would always hide my limb, because if I would have hit my limb hard enough, my bone would probably come through my skin. So I was just always, protecting my arm. And I realized that, if I'm part of wrestling, if I'm part of a team, that's going to make me feel a little bit better about myself. And so I came home one day, I said, Mom and Dad, I want to be a wrestler. And my parents supported me in everything and anything that I wanted to do, but this was a little bit different. And my mom's like, oh my God, wrestling is the most physical sport. God forbid you hit your arm and the bone came through. What are you going to do? And, I'm a 16-year-old kid, and I said, can we cut it off? And they kind of looked at me like, dude, what do you mean cut it off? And I'm like, well, this is something that I want to do, and I know that it's going to, help me. It's going to help me. I know it's going to help me, and I want to do it. I want to take that sacrifice. Can we figure out some sort of amputation? And my sophomore year, we amputated my arm. So basically they lasered off, the 5 inches and did a skin graft. So they pulled extra skin from up by my shoulder over the bone to give me some padding. And my junior year, I tried out for my wrestling team, and I was JV my junior year, and I told my friends, beat me up as hard as you can, because if you hold back on me, I'm not gonna, learn how to become the best wrestler I can possibly be if you're holding back. And just like my parents, if my parents held back on the way they raised me and basically did everything for me and didn't put these challenges in front of me, I don't know what kind of mindset I'd have right now. So JV, I got my butt kicked. It was a huge learning experience. And then my senior year, I came out as the 106-pound varsity wrestler for my high school. And, that was like a reassurance moment for me, like, oh my God, like when I really set my mind to something and I sacrifice and I put the work in and day out, that, I can accomplish things. And, going into wrestling, I didn't even see having no legs and one arm as a limit. The only challenge that was holding me back from becoming a wrestler was the fact that my arm hurt. It wasn't the fact that I was born with no legs and one arm, because I knew that my hard work and dedication would make up for my lack of limbs. I knew if I worked hard enough that, what people think is a disability I would make up for it with my hard work. So my senior year, I came out as the varsity wrestler, and wrestling, I say, saved my life. And the reason why I say that is because
you damn near ruined my life.
What? Wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Brad doesn't like wrestling.
You guys got to understand why, though.
Let him know.
Well, I went out for wrestling. I had all my limbs, and I first of all, got stuck in a onesie or whatever they call
singlet,
it. Yeah, singlet.
A onesie.
Yeah, you walk out with those outfits. And plus, this was 100 years ago, dude. They weren't as cool as they are now.
Agreed.
So, I'm looking like a dipshit walking out, and there's always girls and other kids watching. And then some dick that was on the team prior years wants to throw me around. And the first little episode, I get my face smeared with his armpit. And he locked me in there, kind of. It seemed like for an hour. And I'm like, this is not the sport for me.
Yeah.
So I chucked him off me, threw him like 3 feet in the air, got up and walked out, quit. Call me a pussy, but I don't like men's sweaty pits in my face. And I thought, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal, right?
Yeah.
And the guy happened to be the only dude on the team that started to get hair under his armpit already. So now, and it was gross back then. This was like, I was like, I don't remember, 3rd grade, 4th grade, but we were young, and this dude had a hairy armpit in my face.
That's bad.
Sweaty.
Yeah.
In my face, and I couldn't get him off me. And I thought, that's what wrestling was about.
Yeah.
So I quit.
You have a negative experience.
Yeah. Damn near cost me my life.
I got beat up a lot in wrestling. Did you
ever get an armpit in your face?
I have. I've gotten plenty of armpits.
Did you have to sit there?
So actually, we had a move, and so after my amputation, so before my amputation, we called this arm the chicken wing. It looked like a chicken wing, but now it looks like a potato. It's a little bit shorter and rounder. So literally on the sideline, my boys would be yelling, "Potato, potato," and that means dig this into anywhere I can to get out of whatever situation I'm in. So yeah, if someone's got their armpit in my face, I'm digging in with my potato and getting out of that situation. But it was like 50-50. Either the guy, the opponent either didn't mind that feeling or he really hated it. So
any of them prefer it?
There were some kids, I'm like, it's not moving. He's fine with this. So yeah, they
were suspect.
Yeah.
Interesting. So why do you say wrestling saved your life?
Yeah, so I say wrestling saved my life because I was coming from, this kid that, had no confidence, and my big question was why? Why was I born like this? God, universe, whatever it may be, why do you put me on this earth like this? I don't understand. And, I found that I'll be the first one to admit I wasn't the best wrestler. My senior year, I was like 3-17, but that was 3 more wins than I got the previous year. So in my eyes, I was winning. But I didn't understand why there was gymnasiums packed to watch me wrestle. I didn't understand why people were giving me standing ovations when I lost. I'm competitive. You're not supposed to applaud losing. I didn't understand it. And then I came off the mat and I had, a teacher or an adult come up to me and they were crying. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And they're like, I want to thank you. And I was like, for what? And they said, my son or daughter never wanted to do an extracurricular activity. My son or daughter never wanted to do a sport, but seeing you out there giving it your all and, just not letting anything hold you back, they they've been moved. They want to try all these things, and they were thanking me. And that was my quantum moment. That was my why moment. The answer to my why is, I was just trying to live my life to the fullest, and I was impacting people passively. Imagine how many lives I could change, how many perspectives I could change for the better if I focused my energy on it. So that's basically when I realized, that I was put in this situation to be an example. I was put in this situation to, move people, motivate, inspire people. And that, throughout my entire life of being in middle school and, hating myself, that all the things that I thought were negative about me, all the things that I thought were negative and disgusting about me, came out to be my biggest influences, my biggest empowerments to people. So that's when I kind of became one with myself and, was wow, okay, I accepted my body, and it was just a big relief off my shoulders when I realized, why am I put on this earth like this?
See, I'm going to drop a bomb right there, folks, because you said it earlier when you started with was you had gratitude.
Absolutely.
Zig Ziglar, I used to hang out with him for a spell. He said that gratitude, he had a wall of gratitude. He said gratitude's very powerful. How do you feel gratitude has helped you?
Gratitude, living in a state of gratitude has helped me. And I feel like, I even tell people, I'm like, right now as we're talking, there are millions of people right now that would switch places with me. A man with no legs and one arm would switch places with me in an instant. And that's because, that people come from all walks of life, and, the problems that we complain about on a day-to-day basis in the grand scheme of life aren't really problems. So to show people...
But let's break that down a little bit, because that is, in the grand scheme, a lot of people's problem. Don't you think? They don't have the attitude of gratitude. They've got all their limbs, and they're still bitching and complaining and making excuses, right?
Yeah.
Their attitude, in my opinion, in most cases, is why people don't win and succeed. See, I may have had all my limbs, but I got the opposite of parenting for you, which, by the way, could be the same as having no arms and no limbs. You agree?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously one might choose one over the other, but at the end of the day, I was challenged in that I had no parental guidance, which was what you said. They were smart enough parents to say, figure it out.
Absolutely.
My parents weren't making me figure it out with some grand goal in mind. They just made me figure it out by lack of attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So people, listen, regardless of what circumstance you're in, there is ways out of it. There are ways out of it, right?
Yes.
And it's all in the mind. It's in the mind.
Mindset.
It has to be. I mean, if someone throws you clothes and says, figure it out, and some people would be like, well, that's mean. Why would you do that? Well, it's the same thing. People used to tell me my parents were mean because they'd, leave me home with my, I didn't have a remote back then, but you know what I'm saying? They just left me with a TV, like, here, watch TV, we're going somewhere. That's mean. That's child abuse. I'll bet you anything it's part of the reasons why I'm a winner today, and I guarantee you it's part of the reasons you're a winner today.
Absolutely.
It's because you mean or evil, because, again, I don't think my parents are evil, but you have to figure that shit out, and you have to get your mindset right, and that's how I started learning to win through losses, through having to figure it out myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I always tell people, that the problems that we go through, the challenges, when you extract all the good out of a bad situation, it turns into a W. When you take a loss or something bad happens, when you take a different approach or gain something from it. If you learn anything from any situation, I feel like it's a win. So, I always tell people when I say the word failure, defeat, you'll immediately correlate it with negative. Because people are scared of failing or scared of falling on their face. But when you pull all the good from that you can take away, okay, I'm not going to do this time. I'm going to take this approach. That's a win. So you don't really lose when you learn from them.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Every time I fell on my face doing something, it's just okay, I get back up and figure out what other way I can, do this. What other way? Because things, like I said, everything that I tried at in my life, I failed. I was never, perfect at everything, or I never got anything right away. It was always, okay, how am I going to do this?
So let me ask you a question. Let's say that you weren't born like this. You grew up to 18 years old, got in a car accident, and this is just what happened. Do you think you would have been in a different mindset?
Yeah, I think because I was born with it, that this was my situation right off the gate. So I think
makes it easier.
Yeah.
Not that it's easy in any way, but it makes it easier than
because I never knew anything.
Yeah,
else.
knowing something different.
Absolutely.
But even if that happened, what you did your whole life proves that even then it's the same way out. You just next, you move on.
Yeah.
And people are worried about growing a business, scaling a business, making enough money to get to the next level. They're worried about some stupid shit, and they listen to all their excuses of why they can't do it. And then you get you as an example of like you had far greater odds against you, and you still figured it out. I think maybe because, again, good parenting sounds like.
Absolutely.
And a good mindset. And with those two things, forget the parenting because maybe someone doesn't have good parenting. A good mindset and a little bit of confidence, I think anyone can get out of any situation they're in. It doesn't have to be a dire situation. It doesn't have to be miraculous. You know what I'm saying? I know people that, stayed married longer than 5 years and they're like, oh, that's miraculous. Most people are like, that's not miraculous. Well, it depends on who you're asking. It's the perspective, right?
Perspective's everything.
For someone that can't stay married for longer than 3 days, that would be miraculous 5 years. It's all perspective. Talk about that.
Yeah, just like how, with the singlets, how you didn't think it was so cool to be a singlet.
Well, you like singlets?
I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I was in high school and I had a rib tattoo. So with the singlet, you could see my tattoo, and I was one of the only kids, in high school that had a tattoo on my rib. So, I mean, maybe that was part of it, but perspective.
So you love the singlet?
I don't walk around in a singlet, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Again, perspective.
Perspective. Yeah.
How important is perspective, though? Give me a good example of perspective.
I'll give you a good example of perspective. So I'm a part of a nonprofit, and we're basically in contact with a tribe in Uganda, and so we're going over there and just helping them, make life more efficient. And as to bring in perspective is these people don't even know that there's a plan out there to keep mosquitoes away. One little small thing is going to improve that person's life, by like 1,000,000%, and it's just like because they don't know. So when you just bring in people from all walks of life and, you like how we're talking, I gain perspective from you, you can gain perspective from me. So like through people's challenges, through people's day-to-day life, when you just see a bunch of different people's, how they did, the challenges that they went through, you gain perspective because like, you're like, wow, if we put all of our problems, you can say, if we put all of our problems, on a desk, like you would be like, wow, I could take his problems, just to see what people are going through on a day-to-day basis. You kind of self-reflect on what you got going on.
Yeah, which is someone always has it worse.
Yeah, even that's the same thing with me. I'm not here to say, oh, my situation's terrible. No, this isn't a disability. There are kids and adults right now that are confined in hospital beds that look outside and say, man, I wish I could just walk outside. I don't have it bad at all. So when people say, how are you so positive in the situation? What situation? I got it good. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. See, look at that. There's bombs dropping everywhere. But so regular Joe out there, or Jolene, depending on who we're talking about, male or female.
Joe or Jolene.
How would a normal, average attitude person start to develop this kind of kick-ass champion perspective, mindset, gratitude, etc.?
Yeah, so one of the things that I do is I label 5 things I'm grateful for when I wake up. And, basically gratitude in itself, the emotion outweighs all the negative emotions. So it's like it's emotionally possible for you to feel grateful and sad at the same time. So when you start your day off with gratitude, and you notice when you list the 5 things every day that, they'll change. Your mind gets, you'll see what your mind, is grateful for that day. And sometimes it's big things, and then you'll look at the list, and sometimes it's like small things, that
now,
you woke up.
Do you really actually do that, or are you just saying that shit?
No, I do that.
Every day.
You know how Grant Cardone has his
every
planner?
day. You don't sometimes get up and just think about a bowl of fucking Cocoa Puffs.
I like food. But no, yeah, either writing it down or thinking about it, because like I
can
said,
see how it would work. I'm just wondering if you really do that.
Yeah. Just that, because like if you start your day off with gratitude, like you start your day off just going in with that mindset of like, oh my God, like I woke up today.
Absolutely. Dude, when you're saying that, I'm thinking, man, I got to start doing this right here, even though when I wake up, I always am grateful that I got another day.
Absolutely.
Now, see, we could both be dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you woke up dead, it's not going to be a good day. So every day I wake up, as soon as I wake up, of course, again, I'm crazy like that. So, like, I'll stay up till about midnight, and I'm thinking about all kinds of shit, brainstorming ideas. What can we do? What can we do? Who can we call? Where? And then all of a sudden, I fall asleep. I don't go to sleep. I fall asleep, and then I wake up like at 5 in the morning, 4:45, 5 o'clock, automatically, no alarm clock. And as soon as my eyes open, I just continue. Like
Back in.
I just pick up where I left off. But the first thing I think when I open my eyes is, damn, another day.
Another one.
Yeah, because, dude, you might not wake up. I know people that went to sleep, didn't wake up. Regular, healthy people.
Yeah.
They if I was going to die, I'd want it to be in my sleep. However, you wake up, I'm grateful that, man, I got another day. But it's just a brief flash. I don't do 5.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start because I'll bet you anything that's another factor in my winning.
Yeah.
Because I wake up grateful. And the second I'm like, damn, another day. Yes, I'm
Fired
pumped.
up.
I'm excited instantly.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit there and think, oh, shit, I got to get to work. And I don't start thinking about the past. And it's probably because of what you just said. You can't be grateful and pissed or excited
You can't.
or sad
At the same time.
at the same time. Interesting. So
Yeah.
you do 5 things every day.
Yeah, 5 things.
What were you grateful for this morning?
Today, one of the things that comes to mind is these guys. I'm grateful for the people that I surround myself with.
Can people just make shit up on the fly?
Yeah, they
Will
can.
it still work? You don't even
What do you-
have to actually be grateful for it.
Well, I'd hope they're grateful for it.
Yeah, but you don't have to be. Is there a technique where I can just be like, I'm grateful for my fire poker. I'm grateful for that chair that's sitting there.
If you're truly grateful for it. But
And-
something,
and if you're not-
that you can feel.
Yeah, but if you're not and you're
Then
just
it's not
making
gonna
it
work.
up, yeah,
You're not gonna feel it.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah.
So you need to teach people real quick how to become grateful.
Yeah. How to become grateful is, like I said, I'm grateful for the fact that I woke up today. I mean, so like what I tell people is life's fast. Life is so fast, and we're, in our day-to-day routines, and it's so hectic, and we just, like I said, forget that, like, oh my God, I'm alive. Oh my God, like I could feel the wind. I could feel this stuff. I'm alive. And people just forget that because their day-to-day life is so busy.
Yeah.
So I think just sitting down and saying, okay, what am I grateful for? But something that you truly feel. Even like closing your eyes and going into a moment that you felt a certain way in that moment, go back to that moment and experience that gratitude.
Yeah, well, here's what I always tell people when they ask me, because great gratitude is one thing that I always say is a factor in my success. And they'll say, well, how are you grateful for things? Like, how do you do it? And here's what I do. I get rid of it, right? So if I wanted to be grateful for a chair, move the chair. That's where I sat and put on my shoes, by the way. So now there's no chair there. And I'm like, damn, now I got to sit on the floor, and all of a sudden
Take
it's
it
like,
away.
yeah, you take it away. And even if you do it mentally for a minute, someone the other day, they said, how do you choose between your kids and your family and your business? I mean, I'm torn. I love my business and I want to succeed, but I love my family. How do you pick? I said, well, if you could only choose one, which would it be? Well, my kids, of course. Okay, well then, dumbass, there's the one.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Yeah, you just remove it. If you want to learn how to be grateful, imagine or actually remove the item or the thing, and you'll find 5 things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
There's people that take things for granted all the time. I take things for granted that I have legs and I wake up and walk. Right or wrong? Do you guys? Same thing. Then I see you rolling. I'm like, son of a bitch, I better be thankful I can walk.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, shit, I can't walk, but I better be thankful I can go outside.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter at what level you're thankful, as long as you're thankful and grateful. And anyone that's listening to this that thinks, well, it's easy for you to say, I can't pay my rent, da-da-da-da-da. Dude, trust me, you have things to be grateful for. If you don't believe so, remove them either mentally or actually, and you'll start being thankful and have gratitude every day you wake up instantly.
Like that.
Blow out your girl. See what happens.
Take her out.
Or just blow her out for the day. Tell her beat it. I don't want to see you for a week. Now, if you wake up grateful that she's not there, guess what? You're with the wrong girl.
Yeah.
And ladies, if you're grateful your dude ain't there, like tell your dude to beat it for a week. And if he's gone for a week and you're waking up grateful that he's not there, guess what? You're in the wrong relationship. You're with the wrong dude. It's true.
Yeah.
So just get rid of some shit and see what happens. If you miss it, then be grateful when it comes back, because anything that you're not grateful for, I would bet over time it goes away anyway. If the things you don't pay attention to and appreciate end up going away.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a car, like you ever taken care of a car like shit,
Yeah.
you lose the car. You eventually lose the car. You're either creating or you're destroying. And sometimes by not paying attention and caring for something, you're destroying it. You don't even know it. And then what happens in most cases? It disappears. It goes away. Girlfriends, money, investments, whatever. It goes away. And then what do? They whine and they bitch and they cry and they come up with more excuses when, hey, Dick, you should have freaking taken care of it. You should have appreciated it. You should have been thankful for it. Because if you were thankful for it, let's say you got your first car. Remember your first cars? You're all thankful. You're out there washing it every day and it looks good every day. Then pretty soon, I'm driving this old piece of shit. And
it's
then
a used car.
Yeah, because everybody else has something better or whatever the reason. And all of a sudden you start to not appreciate the car and it becomes embarrassment and it becomes a pile of shit. And then what happens to it?
It's gone.
It goes away. One way or the other, it's gone. And now you don't have it. And in some cases you get a better one, but in some cases you don't have one. And then guess what? You freaking wish you had your car back, even though it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
Right. I mean,
that applies to anything in life.
Perspective too. And it's funny you said that because I just had a problem with my car and I didn't have it for like 2 weeks. And my manager Ratmir, when he moved here from Russia, he didn't have a car for 6 years. So I was like, I don't have anything to complain about.
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be thankful.
Take it away.
So write that in your repertoire. You can use it in your next events and your speeches. You don't even have to give me credit.
The real Bradley.
Yeah, because I'm sure you can incorporate that shit into something that you say where people go, because people don't realize. Every time I tell people, just get rid of it or imagine it gone.
Not in your life anymore.
And then they're going to be, or people always go, wow, yeah, because they start doing it in their head immediately.
Yeah.
Like, what if your girl disappeared? Oh, shit, I'd be freaking. Well, then be grateful that she's there.
Yeah.
So, what else? I wanted to talk about perspective. I wanted to talk about, gratitude for sure. And then, there was like 3 or 4 things I wanted to ask you. We'll just keep talking and see if it comes back up.
All right.
So you travel around and do speeches, events, but you also do fitness contests, bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, right after wrestling, my senior year of high school, the app Vine came out. And I don't know if you know what Vine is, but Vine was an app where you post 6-second videos. Yeah. You had to be as creative as you can in 6 seconds, and I wanted to create something.
That's what make Jake Paul or Jake Logan or whatever his name is. What's his name?
The Paul brothers.
Yeah, Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
That's what made them famous.
Yeah. So I wanted to create something that, not only can like motivate and inspire people, but make them laugh. And, the meaning behind the videos was, I knew what it felt like to be disgusted with myself, uncomfortable in my situation. So I wanted to people see like, wow, look how happy Nick is, through the videos. Maybe I could be a little bit happier in my day-to-day basis. So I was like, we were thinking of ideas with my friends, and I said, how many legless guys do you see crawling around Walmart pretending to be a zombie, like pranking people? And they said, not many. So my senior year, I created my first zombie prank, and basically I went into a Walmart and I scared a guy. I dressed up as a zombie and I crawled at him like, "Argh!" And I scared him, and I posted that video, and I was like, if 500 people see this, 500 kids and adults can be like, wow, like I said, look how happy Nick is, like, I could be happy. So I posted that video, and overnight it went like internationally viral, and it had over, 80,000 likes and over 80,000 reposts in just one day. And
dude, that's some funny shit. You could get away with some seriously funny shit.
I've done some crazy stuff in my day. And, so through doing those type of prank videos and put myself out there like that, I gained 1 million followers in under a year on Vine. And that led me to getting hired by Fox International to scare the main actors of The Walking Dead in Tokyo, Japan. So I did some pretty cool things through, pranking. And, I had this career in pranking, and I was, one of the top pranksters, and I was like, there's no really fulfillment for me. This isn't something that I want to do. So, I made an announcement to, the over 1 million people that followed me for my pranks. I said, sorry guys, I don't want to do the pranks anymore. I'm looking at the bigger picture. There's much more potential for me. And so I said, these are the things I'm going to become.
That was on Vine?
Yeah.
See, if you'd have done that on YouTube, you'd be making a shitload of cash from it.
Yeah, I did a Texas Chainsaw Massacre prank. It's got 45 million views on YouTube.
Did you get paid?
Yeah.
Like the ad roll stuff?
YouTube pays like 2,000 for every million view.
That's it?
Yeah, well, with 45 million views is pretty good.
That's only $90,000.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good at 18, 19.
Yeah, but we need to get you into $100,000 a month minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
We're working on it.
And you know how you do that? You keep coming up with new pranks, not one that got 45 million views.
Yeah.
All of them get 45 million views.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you back on YouTube.
Yeah, so I did these pranks.
Look at Ratmere, he's writing it down. YouTube pranks.
I got some.
Dude, you can do more than one thing at
Oh.
a time. You don't have to be, oh shit, I'm doing fitness. Oh shit, I'm doing speaking. Like, do it all.
Yeah. I got some ready to go. They're just very
They always say multiple
intense.
flows of income.
Yeah.
And dude, your prank videos are easy as shit to do. Think them up, go pull them off, film it, upload it to YouTube, and guess what? If nothing happens, who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah.
Just like this podcast. I started this podcast. I said I'm going to buy 2 microphones and just chat with people. Then I'm going to upload it.
Yeah.
Dude, now there's thousands and thousands of people in the Bomb Squad downloading. Every podcast I post gets 100,000 downloads.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you shitting me? And people are emailing me and DMing me saying it's changing their life and it's really helping them. And I'm like, how? I'm all skeptical. And then they tell me how. And I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So it just keeps me doing them. Because like this conversation, to me, it's just we're just shooting the shit.
Yep,
You're going to leave and I'm going to go home and it'll be like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And then someone's going to say, dude, when you were talking to Nick, man, and it's amazing what just putting content out there does.
Absolutely.
So if I was you, I'd still consider pranking people.
Yeah.
And it's funny, man.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. I keep sidetracking.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so
you probably got 5 things you want to make sure you say, and I keep sidetracking.
Oh no, you're good, man. You go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah. And so
you didn't have 5 things you wanted to say when you came in?
No, I'm ready to just.
Are you all prepared and shit?
No.
I always meet people that are prepared. They'll come on the show and like you can tell that they want to get back to something because like they're prepared for it. Meaning, it's
Scripted?
almost rehearsed.
Yeah.
You find that those guys won't just have a normal conversation that ends up with wiping your ass with a hula hoop. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we're like, well, let's get back to what I know to say. You seem like you're pretty authentic with your material.
Yeah, just whatever you want to throw at me, that's what we talk about.
All right, so every day you wake up, there's 5 things you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Then what? How do you start your day?
Fasted cardio. I do fasted cardio, so I have a wrestling mat.
Every day?
Yeah. Well, right now, my off season, 5 days a week out of the 7. So yeah, I do some cardio and basically, like I said, start your day off on another W, feeling good. Get your cardio in, and that's what I tell people. Regardless of if it's cardio or lifting weights or even stretching or yoga, like do something in the morning that it makes you feel good. Why would you not?
What about those people that like are all ripped and they claim you don't have to do cardio? I know people that are ripped and they don't do cardio. They just lift weights.
Either good genetics and metabolism, or that's what I say about Ratmere. Ratmere's got good genetics, the Russian genetics.
Yeah, well, they were altered genetics back in 1940 or whenever those Olympics were.
Yeah.
That's who invented and mastered steroids.
That's what you
the
are.
Russians.
The genetics.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's you didn't see that whole expose where back when the Russians were kicking our ass for the Olympics, snatching all the gold medals.
With steroids?
Yeah, they were doing like all kinds of tests and ambiotic or not ambiotic. What do you call that shit that they're doing now?
Anabolic?
No.
Oh.
Like, almost like cloning, like stem cells and like major shit that's just now starting to get major shit. The Russians were mastering that shit back in the 40s.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, they had mad scientists, dude. They were producing superior athletes before anybody was even knowing what they were doing. That's how
crazy.
You guys were coming over kicking our ass.
That's what they did.
Yeah. I ain't against you. I mean, to me, look, use every advantage you can. People always say, well, I want to be fair. I don't want to be fair. I want to be unfair. Like, give me all the advantages. I always tell people, now, you guys can adopt this if you like. It's just my personal opinion, and I live by it. I always say, look, I don't like to fuck people, but I like to be in the position to.
That's good. That's intense.
Have that option.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to be in the position to?
Leverage.
Yeah, it's the upper hand. That's all it is. Doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. I don't screw people, but I like to be in the position to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in the position to get fucked.
Agreed.
You know, I always tell people when we do business with them, because I do a lot of business with all the big names. So a lot of the big names and the big brands, they want special considerations and white glove treatment and, you know, basically cater to them because they're the big names.
Yeah.
And I always say, look, I'll bend over backwards, but I won't bend over forwards.
I like it.
Know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Anyway, so 5 things to get grateful for. Fasted cardio. Then what?
Then it's either gym. Unfortunately, I spend like 2.5 hours in the gym. It takes me a little bit longer to get through all my workouts. But then it's either just filming content and posting my content or just somehow.
Where do people follow you? Where do you get your content?
You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at, Nick Santo. My last name's Santonastasso, but it's easier if you guys type in NickSanto and I'll pop up. There's not many legless guys like me running around.
At Nick Santo.
Yeah.
And what kind of content you posting? So
right now, I just finished up prepping for my bodybuilding competition, so I kind of took a step away from fitness content. It's a lot of my speaking because I've been traveling around the world speaking, so we just post kind of recaps of my speaking. If we're going to work out with, I just worked out with some kids that it was a foundation called Numbability, and it was actually kids that are all born with some sort of limb deficiencies. And basically they teach them how to be adaptive athletes and how to play these sports to their full potential. So, everything, just basically day-to-day life is what I'm posting, just like the grind and the come up.
Nice. And no jokes, nothing funny?
No, we got some, there's some funny videos on there. I just did a funny leg press video where we had a crap load of weight on a leg press machine and, it's my face and I'm screaming and, the weight's really not moving anywhere because I don't have legs, and I jump off and I'm like, leg press PR, So yeah, we do some funny things.
How many followers do you have?
On Instagram, I'm creeping up to 400K.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Thanks.
What else?
On YouTube, I need to step up my YouTube game. I have 55,000 or 60,000.
Dude, YouTube's hard. That's a lot for YouTube. I've been trying to get people to follow me forever and a day, and I only have 6,500 or something.
Yeah, YouTube's tough.
And I put a lot of content out there.
Yeah.
Good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Apparently not in anybody else's.
Yeah, so YouTube, Facebook, I have 50K on there too. So we're just building every platform right now.
Well, I'm gonna get you some followers. I know my people, which are called the Bomb Squad, by the way, just because we're dropping bombs. Dude, they're gonna eat this shit up. They're gonna love what you have to say. And not only that, I agree with everything you say because I don't always agree with everybody, and I'll still have them on the show.
Yeah.
But I agree with what you're having to say, and I can tell you that anybody listening, it doesn't matter whether you have an arm or you don't have an arm. You have a mind, and if you don't fix that, you're screwed. And you're living proof of it. You don't have the limbs, but you got the mind, and you're out there winning.
Absolutely.
You're making money. You're happy. And by the way, happy's the key, right?
Happiness, success without fulfillment, the ultimate failure. Like Tony says.
So again, I mean, you're proof of it. You're going to prove my ranch theory, and you've already proved you don't need anything except a good mindset. And it's true, man. I'm telling you, I've been through both sides of it. I used to be, whining and bitching and complaining about things. And then at a certain point, I was just like, screw it. There's nothing to complain about. And next thing you know, it's like you're winning, and then you're happy, and then somehow, who knows if it's a bipolar thing someone has. You get in a down cycle, then an up cycle. That's called life.
Yep.
Up and down. So if you can keep your mind right and understand that there are up and downs, they become easier, right?
Yeah.
So what are some tricks or some things that you've learned, that you've applied, that little whiny bitches listening can get past their stupidity? Because how dumb is it? How do you feel? Do you get pissed when you see somebody with all their limbs whining about something that's really ridiculous compared to the shit you've had to deal with?
I don't get mad. It's just, it is upsetting, but I want to help. So I just feel like I'm not in the position to look at someone and be like, oh, I can't believe you're complaining about that, because then again, it's not my life, but I do want to help. I'm more concerned with that person if they're complaining about little stuff, but I don't want to be mad at anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about like you're just starting out business wise, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're looking at people like, Tony Robbins or somebody that you look up to and say, man, they have it easy. Do you ever catch yourself like having that shit mindset when it comes to other things that you're not already trained and conditioned to be grateful for?
Yeah. So I feel like that would be an inner problem with me if I looked at someone that was more successful than me and I kind of got upset about it.
Not upset, but kind of like, made an excuse like, well, Tony's got legs, or Tony's got money, or Tony's got a something else. Do you ever catch yourself like falling in that same boo-hoo mindset?
To be honest, no, because people only see, for the most people, like people only see the finish line of what the finished product of what that person is, and they don't really see the countless years of them in the grind.
Hey, there's a bomb for you, folks.
They see the finished product, and so like I feel like when I see someone, I can't think in that mindset because regardless, you didn't see the grind, So like,
and Tony's had some grinds.
Yeah. Tony started with no money. That's why he's going to feed 1 billion people. Because he didn't have Thanksgiving dinner one year and someone brought him Thanksgiving dinner. So like people see the finished product, but they don't see, what those people been through. So I never try to even have that thought slip in my mind that, that he has had it easy because like, no, like he grinded for it. He worked for it. Yeah. He's there and he earned that.
Especially with abs.
Abs.
Because you always see dudes in the movies and they're all freaking studly and you're thinking, prick. Dude, you're not seeing the 3 or 4 hours they're in the gym. You're not seeing the ranch that they're not getting to eat.
The butter.
You're not seeing the sacrifice.
The garlic
you're
bread.
just seeing the finished product. And you just think, oh, they're just naturally lucky. No, they're not. They're putting in the work.
Absolutely.
You know how you can tell if they're putting in the work?
How?
The results.
Yeah, it shows.
It has to. You can't put in the work and not have the results show.
Yeah, and that was one of the things when I went into the fitness industry, I was like, from a business standpoint, I was like, okay, well, you can't buy a fit body. So if people see me shredded, they're like, they can't take that away from me. That's something that I worked for, I earned, I grinded for, and, it can't be taken away from me. So that's why I take, fitness is like a structure of my life because, like, I work for my body, and you can't take that away from me. I didn't buy it. I can't buy it. This is me. This is my hard work. It's a just like a picture of what I've been through, the work I put through. And like I said, people can look at those people with abs and see, prick, but it's...
Well, I call it the finishing touches because would you rather have $100 million or abs?
That's tough.
No, it isn't. Get the 100 million.
100 million.
Yeah, and then the abs are the finishing touch.
Okay.
Because if you had $100 million but you're a big fat ass... Some dude with abs at the pool, you're envious of that. You're like, oh, I wish I had that, because you always want more, seemingly.
Absolutely.
But the dude with the abs is also, thinking they want your 100 million, but they're laughing because you're fat, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I always think, that the triple threat is the best: to be good looking, rich, and abs.
Yeah.
That's the triple threat.
I like it.
You got to have them all.
I like it.
Like I can be good looking, rich, but damn,
I love butter.
If I don't have them abs, but if I get the abs, that's just the finishing touch. Because I'd rather be good looking and rich than abs.
Yeah, you got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. But still, the abs, it's that third one, and I'm gonna start hitting it. Trust me.
Hit it.
One of these days, dude, you're gonna see me on social media. I'll pull up the shirt, and you'll see a 6-pack sitting there.
All right.
I'll get down to about 6% body fat. I got to be around 6% before you see a good 6-pack.
Yeah.
8.5, you're starting to see them a little bit. No, I'd say 10.5. I start seeing them a little bit. What do you think?
For my show, I was like, so like for me, I think it's a little bit different because like when
you probably walk around at 10.5.
I don't even know what I'm at right now. I'm 20 pounds heavier than my stage weight, so I gained 20 pounds since September. So hopefully it's a good size. But for me, like you guys walking around from when you're a kid, you automatically, from the way you're walking around, your obliques are kind of built, your abs are kind of built. So when I started, I don't walk like you guys. So, I had to basically start from scratch. So for me, I think it's a little bit higher, but I'm still working on my symmetry and have everything, developed. So I'm still developing myself, but I think it's It's around the same thing, 10%. But I think for my show, I was pretty diced. I was like 5%.
What about Ritmer?
Ratmere.
Ratmere.
Yeah. My body fat?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got a 6-pack or no?
I do.
Easily, or do you have to put in the work?
Easily.
It just came with the deal.
He's one of those.
Yeah,
He's
lucky.
one of those.
One of them lucky dogs.
It's one less thing I have to worry about.
Huh?
One less thing I have to worry about.
Triple threat, baby.
That's
We're coming.
right. But you got 100 million?
Working on it.
Yeah, but do you have it?
No.
Ah, okay. Well, would you take 100 million or abs?
I'll take 100 million.
That's what I'm talking about. Here's a good question for you. If you could get given 100 million, someone will just hand you 100 million. There you go. Or you can earn 20 million. Which would you choose?
I'd earn 20 million.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what about you?
I'll take 100 million.
Yeah. So I would have to say I agree with him. And
Okay.
here's why. Why do you feel that you would rather be $80 million short just to be able to claim you earned that money?
Because for me, I feel like my whole entire life, I was trying to figure out how I was going to be independent. And so I wanted to work. I wanted to be independent on my own, financially, free on my own. So like for me, like when I work for something, I don't know, it fulfills me more than just someone handing me over. I mean, $100 million is $100 million.
So you'd rather have $80 million less just so you can say you earned it?
I did it. I did that.
Yeah. So why don't you go over to Iraq or Afghanistan and fight for our freedom? Why are you?
can't.
Why are you? Yeah, you can.
I can't. They wouldn't let me in the military with no
see,
legs and one arm.
Lame excuse.
Is it?
You could. Let's say they would.
Okay.
Would you say, I don't want freedom for free. I'm going to go over there and do my deal?
If I had to,
No,
that's what
you
you got to
wouldn't.
do.
No, you wouldn't, dude. Listen, we've been programmed as kids to believe that if you don't earn something, it's not worth something. Have you ever learned that?
Wait, say that again.
That you have to earn it for it to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Okay.
If I gave you $100 million, why is it worth less? Because you didn't earn it.
It's not worth less. I
my
just didn't earn it.
That's my point. It's not worth less. It's worth the same amount. So if I give you $100 million, why do you feel you would rather give? So basically, you're going to forgive $80 million just so you can say you earned it. One, you end up with $100 million, but you don't get to say you earned it. The other one, you get $20 million, but you can say you earned it. So what you're saying is it's worth $80 million
To say I earned it.
to say you earned it.
All right.
And that's
Maybe
just
I picked the wrong answer.
well, you did, but it's also perspective, isn't it? So I wanted to again, dude. Everybody learns. I'm just telling you what I've learned.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is there is a lot of programming in our minds since we're kids. Like money doesn't make you happy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, folks. Name the cliches. You've heard them. Everybody can like recite them. And one of them that I've always heard when I was little is, if you didn't earn it, it's not worth anything, or you have to earn your way. Come on, son, you don't want nothing for free. There's no free lunches. There are free lunches. I get free lunches here every single Friday. You guys want to come by on Fridays? There's a free lunch right over there.
I'm in.
Yeah, just come in. Did you guys see it in there, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's free. It's free. You can have it. So guess what? There are free lunches, aren't there?
Yeah.
That's bullshit information. It's usually information from somebody that's trying to get you to either feel better about yourself because of the situation that they're responsible for or you're responsible for. So they tell you whatever they need to tell you to hopefully make you feel better about yourself. Don't worry about them, son. Money doesn't make you happy. God's going to judge them later. Don't worry about them. God will get them later. You have to earn something for it to be worthwhile. No, you don't.
Yeah, so I guess that was something that was programmed.
And by the way, if I gave you $100 million, couldn't you earn more money with it?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, so from now on, when someone gives you that choice, Andy, he said earn. And he'll argue if he's on the show, which he will be here
He
pretty
said
soon.
earn 20 million?
Yeah, he said earn, and then he wanted to argue why he believed it's true. Ed Milet, they all say earn, especially the ones that are all about, integrity and all this shit, which, again, I'm all about integrity and perseverance, and I get the same thing, although I like to keep shit real.
Yeah.
I don't bullshit you. If I think it, I think it, and if you
Yeah.
don't like it, then sorry, but I believe what I believe. Dude, you give me $100 million, I'll take $100 million.
Yeah.
I don't need to earn $20 million. What am I earning $20 million for? So I'll have $20 million, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole reason to earn it. So I can have it.
Yeah.
And you'll just give it to me and I'll have it instantly and 5 times that amount? Sure. Just hand it over. You can tell everybody too. Say you gave it to me. Say he didn't even earn it. You just gave it to me. Trust me.
As long as you can multiply it.
I'm no less cool because I didn't earn it. Trust me when I tell you. People say, oh, he's a rich kid. Who gives a shit? I wish I was a rich kid. I wish my parents handed me everything.
Yeah.
I would not be ashamed of it, and I would not be walking around earth feeling some sort of guilt because you gave it to me.
Do you feel like you'll be the man you are today if that was the case?
It wouldn't matter. I'd probably be richer than I am right now, and I wouldn't have had to struggle and take as long as it took. Like, shit, I'll be 50 next year. Dude, I wish I was 25, richer than shit, rolling around in a Ferrari doing what I want to do. And my dad said, here, son, here's $100 million. Don't worry, the world's going to hate you for it. Who gives a shit? Let the world hate me. I don't hate me. See, that's what's important. I don't hate me. Why? Because I know I'll do the right thing. $100 million is not going to change me. I'm not going to be all of a sudden a big dick and, some evil person with it. I'll be the same person I am now with $100 million.
But what if you never became that person because you had all that money? You didn't have to work for it. You didn't have to learn how to build relationships and how to get your way.
Why?
Persuade people.
Again, you're saying what if? I don't think that I'm not going to be a good person just because someone handed me a bunch of free shit. I may not have learned the value of this and the value of that, but then again, I may have. Like someone said to me one time, well, if I earn the 20 million, guess what? I'll be able to earn more. If you hand me 100 million, I won't have the skill to earn anymore. Well, don't you think you would learn some shit by losing 20 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the time you lose 20, 30 million, you learn the same shit as it took to earn the 20 million. But you're still 70 million. So you're $50 million ahead.
Yeah.
Trust me, dude, there's no way anyone can ever tell me with perfect certainty that taking the 20 million is better than the 100. Ever. Nobody. Andy, Tony Robbins could tell me, well, Brad, and I'd say, sorry, Tony, I'll take the hunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, I don't feel bad. Do you?
Well, perspective is everything. You're putting me onto some new stuff, some new ways of thinking.
Change the way you look at things.
Yeah.
And I've changed 50% of the people that I'll explain it to will say, you know what, you're right, I'll take that 100 million. But a lot of people will say, nope, I got to earn it. Tony Capullo, I'll bring him in here right now. He'll shake his head. He won't admit it. When in reality, the reason he won't admit it is because he knows full well he ain't getting 100 million. Right? And he wants to sound noble. But I keep it real.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll keep it real. Even if it makes me look like an asshole.
That's fine.
Hey, it is, but it is what it is.
Absolutely.
It is, right? It's right. It's right. If you think I'm an asshole because I'm taking $100 without working for it, well, then you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care. That's another thing too. If somebody like doesn't like you for whatever reason, a lot of people care about that. Like they're so concerned about getting other people to like them that they end up miserable or they end up somehow, sad, for lack of a better word. Why? Why is that?
I think they're struggling within themselves if they care about what other people think about them.
Right. So confidence, which is extremely important in success. Like I used to see ugly dudes get the chicks because they were confident. So confidence in sales, I guarantee you, my confidence allowed me to win in a lot of cases. Confidence is important.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in the world that lack confidence. You were saying if you got a virtual training program, what would I recommend? Shit. You can teach someone how to get confidence, you'll be a trillionaire. You might be the world's first trillionaire because everybody would buy it. They might not tell everyone they bought it, but they'd be secretly buying it.
Yeah.
Just like when that dude came out with speed dating, how to pick up chicks quick. He sold millions of copies to nobody.
Yeah.
Because nobody admitted, I want to learn how to
He was making
pick up.
money, but no one was coming out saying they bought it.
Confidence is the same thing. Like, yeah, shit, I got confidence, but everybody's got insecurities. Everybody.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, the question is how many insecurities do you have, and do you know how to build confidence? So I'll ask you, do you know how to build confidence? Because if you do, you should make a course on that. And then secondly, to make my point, people's insecurities, they're worried about what you guys think. Like if I gave a rat's ass, I'd worry about what you guys are going to think about me. I don't really give a shit what you think about me. Not in a rude way, like I'm arrogant, but because I'm a good dude. I already know that. I know that.
You're going
right?
to prove it to
and if you guys knew me, you'd know it too.
Yeah.
So if there's something I said or you didn't like, I don't sit there and dwell on it and all of a sudden not like myself too. Like, damn, maybe they're right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you don't let it. You don't let it affect you.
You don't,
Yeah.
and you can't. You know, a lot of people.
That's huge.
A lot of people want to be movie stars. They won't say it, but they want to be an actor. Like if I could put you in a movie and you'd be famous, would you do it?
Yeah.
Would you? And his buddy's over there nodding his head like, well, sure I would. Well, that's because everybody wants attention and fame and all that. But if I said, okay, go to this audition, you start to get nervous. And then when you walk in the room and you get the script and there's 7 people watching you and they say, okay, act like you're crying and, or act whatever way that embarrasses you, people won't do it. Why?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're worried about what those people might think. What if you think I'm reading stupid? What if you think I'm acting poorly? Oh my God, you're going to judge me. If people can get past that, they got the world by the balls.
Yeah.
So can you teach confidence?
Yeah, so I always tell people it's the meaning you attach behind things. And like I said, when I was growing up, when people said, oh, Nick, you never become a wrestler. Oh, how are you going to become a bodybuilder? You have half a body. Well, all these things. The internet's a very nasty place, and people can say whatever they want to you whenever they want to you. So I just, turn whatever people are saying to me negative, and I just let it drive me because I turn that negative energy into positive energy. But I think...
Well, that's fuels from haters.
Yeah.
How do you build confidence?
So confidence, I feel like it's integrity too. So like basically saying you're going to do things and you're doing them.
Bingo.
So
you must listen to my shit. Okay,
I listen to all of your guys' stuff. But like
that's
for me,
true though.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't make it up.
Yeah.
But I'm proof of it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So basically just holding yourself accountable and doing things that you're going to say you're doing.
Bam. Another bomb dizzle. I hope you guys are writing this shit down because he's giving you the answers for free. You're going to build a course on this, and you can build it around it, and guess what? It'll work. You know why? Because what you're saying is how you do it, and it will work if everyone applies it. You're not guaranteeing that someone will apply it just because you're teaching them how to do it, right?
Yeah.
So they have to do the work.
Yeah.
Just like abs. Dude, I already know how to get abs. It ain't no fucking secret.
There's no secret formula. Yeah.
Google's fucking filled with fucking ways to get abs.
Yeah.
Pills, potions, exercises, diets, trainers. Shit, it ain't rocket science to get abs. Would you agree?
I know.
So why don't anybody have them? And they all want them because it's work. So he's telling you how to get this confidence. I'm telling you that confidence will triple whatever you're doing. You just got to put in the work. Keep going.
Yeah, so for me, like saying I'm gonna become a wrestler, well, I could have never, became a wrestler if I didn't amputate my arm. So like making sacrifices and putting yourself in those situations where you're forced to level up.
Sacrifices,
level
folks.
Up. You're supposed
Listen to Nick. Here we go. We're on a roll. Come on.
Elevate yourself, personally, professionally, and that's what I had to do for all these industries. I didn't know how to become a bodybuilder. There wasn't a manual for a kid with no legs, one arm to become a bodybuilder. But I put myself in that situation where I'm forced to learn. I'm forced to level up and, improve my knowledge on nutrition, improve my knowledge on training to, obtain my vision. So like I always tell people all these industries I went into, if I was never confident in my ability to obtain my vision, I'd never obtain my vision.
Yeah.
And, people, I say, if you don't believe in your vision, no one else is going to believe in your vision. But the beauty behind that is the only person that needs to believe in your vision is you. So, just basically, setting goals, even micro goals. The goals don't have to be huge right away, but setting micro goals and hitting them and then applauding yourself for them and reflecting back, I accomplished that. I kept to my word. And you just build this reputation within yourself.
Yeah.
And, then you don't really care. You don't really care about what other people think of you or judging you or say to you, because you have this relationship within yourself. You know that you are capable of whatever you're saying. You know that when you write something down, or you're saying, I'm going to do this goal, I'm going to work out 5 times a week, or I'm going to eat healthy 5 times a day, and you do it, that you kept your word. You build your self relationship with yourself.
So you got just integrity, do what you say you're going to do, improve, achieve goals, basically gather small wins, even if they're small.
Yeah.
Gather wins.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you say you're going to get up at 5 a.m. and you do, that's
Applaud
a win.
yourself.
That's a win.
Yeah.
So you gather wins.
And that's tough. Self-reflection is hard. I feel like
Sure
it's
it
hard
is.
to self-reflect, and especially for me, I'm just so hard on myself, and I always feel like I'm not doing enough. But it is key to sit back and say, well, I did this. I came from this. We always look back at if we started at A and we got the D, we only compare ourselves from D to C, but you don't realize D to A.
You just said we got the D.
So look at him. Look at him.
Dude, you don't want to say that. Come on now.
Sorry,
there's
I'm
there's
sorry.
there's pervs listening.
I'm sorry.
But listen, hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Okay, and then be authentic.
Yeah, being genuine.
You got to. It's part of the confidence formula.
Yeah, you'd
Okay,
be
if you're
wearing
not-
a fake mask.
That's right.
It only lasts.
And not only that, but
That it's
you're
fake. Yeah.
And so everyone else can think whatever they want to think, dude. Your confidence is not in the hands of another.
Yeah.
Your confidence lies within you, and only you can build it. People can stroke your ego and build your ego up. But if I'm sitting there being fake, and I know I'm fake, but you guys think I'm cool as shit, my confidence is not building.
You get some issues.
It's deteriorating.
Yeah.
And it could be happening on a subconscious level. So you have to be authentic. You have to hold yourself accountable. And then I have a final one that I think is key, which is you got to help others.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when you start to help other people, for some reason the universe listens, whether it's God or the universe. So when you help other people, I think it helps your confidence. Why? Because you're walking around, like you got a 9-incher, because you know that you'll help people, right or wrong.
Right.
I mean,
serving others.
Okay, serving, whatever people call
Yeah,
it, because
yeah.
there's a lot of words for it,
Yeah.
but you need to help other people. When I started Lightspeed, I was kind of greedy. I was doing $400,000-$500,000 a year myself, and every day I woke up, I was worried about what can I do to make me more. I want more. I can't get more. And I probably could have kept going and got higher and more for me if I was thinking me, which I was. But then I got to a point where I was more concerned about how can I help you make more? Why? Well, I don't know. I'm fine. I'm making enough money. My skills were freaking like Optimus Prime.
Point.
Oh, dude, I still am this way. I mean, dude, I'm the best probably closer on the planet. But you wouldn't know it unless you hung out here for a couple of weeks and saw me close people. But I'm a closer, and so I decided I want to teach people how to close business, right? Because if you can close business, you're going to make more money. And then it started to get me excited that, dude, I can help you feed your family better, drive a nicer car, get happier. So it was all about closing. So I just started to think about how do I help other people, and that's when I decided to start a training business. And that's, because I started to worry about how do I help you? Well, I need to train you to help you. And as soon as I started a training business, the next thing led to another, and now we're doing millions of dollars. I'm like, supposedly successful, which I don't feel successful yet because I'm after billions of dollars. It's like, if I start out on a journey of 1,000 miles and I went 2 and everybody's like, dude, great job. I'd be like, I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But, by perspective, some people think I'm really successful, even though I don't think I am. End of the day, you start helping people, success starts to chase you. Before, you're chasing success. You're constantly running after these things and these dreams. You ever heard chase your dreams?
Yeah.
Shit, dude, you don't chase your dreams. You build your dreams. Don't chase them. If they chase them, you're just
never going to catch them.
You never will. They'll just constantly be running. But as soon as you start to think about helping others, success turns around and it starts to come towards you. Now you're attracting success. And guess what? If you're moving forward and success is coming to you, what happens?
Gets closer.
You just start hitting it. Next thing you know, I'm confident. Why? Dude, I'm winning here. I'm winning there. I'm winning here. I'm helping others. They love me. I love me. I'm a good dude.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're rolling around in your freaking shining with confidence, which does what? Attracts more opportunities. And then you do the same thing, and it's like this cycle of winning. And next thing you know, someone comes along and says, you think you're fucking so cool. You're such a arrogant prick driving around in that fucking car, and look at this fancy ass watch. You think you're, and all of a sudden you start believing and hearing these other idiots. And most people do what? They start doing them ebb and flows again. So all you got to do before you get started with all this is know for a fact that you're not going to please everybody. So who should you please?
Ever.
So who should you please?
Yourself.
You. And if you're a good dude, that doesn't mean you're being selfish.
It doesn't affect you because you know that you're a good dude.
Exactly. So, dude, this is easy shit, right? But nobody can do it. There's people right now, they should hear this podcast 10 times. They should share it with 50 of their friends. Hashtag at Nick Santo, so more people are exposed to this dude. Go follow him, by the way, at Nick Santo on Instagram, Facebook, no Twitter?
I got Twitter.
What about Snapchat?
I got Snapchat.
Drains your battery. I don't like Snapchat.
It's rough on your battery. You're right.
Yeah, so go follow this dude. What other? You got any more points for these folks? I've kept you here an hour and 10. This will be the longest bomb in history.
Thank you. No, to wrap it up, regardless of what hand life has dealt you with, that, it's our duty to play it to the best of our ability. We're all going through some things and we're all going through some challenges, but it's the way you react and it's the way you play your hand that's going to, dictate your future, dictate your life.
That's right, folks. You heard it straight. And listen, I don't know, this will be a podcast, so most people will listen to it audio. If you saw Nick, you would say, well, son of a bitch, that dude's got a good attitude because he doesn't have some limbs. But guess what, folks? Go look in the mirror. You got limbs and you fucking have a bad attitude. You're worried about not being able to do this, not being able to do that. If you replay this 15 times, Nick just taught you how to freaking fix your situation. And then you should be 10 times as grateful as you are today. Am I lying?
He's not.
Because again, dudes, people, listen. It's all mindset. I mean, I wish I could do a whole nother episode on this. Because when it boils down to it, dude, it's the mind that controls everything. Your mind, if your mind believes that you're screwed, you're screwed.
You're screwed.
If your mind believes you're not screwed, you're not screwed. Even if everybody thinks you're screwed. Like some people would look at you and say, dude, you're screwed.
Yep.
But you're not screwed.
I'd laugh. Yeah.
But that's the thing. You're not screwed. And people don't realize that. It's all in the mind. And guess what? If you thought you were screwed and you were freaking looking like The Rock, right? I had all your limbs, had a bunch of money, and you thought you were screwed, you'd be screwed. Would you agree with that or not?
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe it, or I mean the opposite. If
everyone thinks.
Well, you know what I mean. In other words, yeah, like everyone says, well, geez, you got so much going for you. Have you ever seen those people too?
Yeah.
People are like all depressed and you're trying to pick them up. Like, what's wrong with you, son? You've got everything going for you. Well, my girlfriend left and boo-hoo-hoo, and they're miserable. And some of them commit suicide. Right or wrong?
Right.
Suicide prevention. Like I always see suicides and whatnot, and I'm thinking, why are they committing suicide, these people? How bad can their life be? And guess what guess what it is?
Their mind. Their mindset.
It's 100% their perspective, their mindset. So
how
folks,
they see the world.
It's how they look at things. It's their mind, dude. Go look at these kids that are killing themselves or these adults or these people. I knew a guy, personally, blew his brains out. Why? Because he freaking owed the IRS $2 million. He thought his world was over. He's going to lose his house. He's going to lose his car. All his friends are going to think he's a criminal. He might have to go to jail or prison, get poked in the old pooper. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Bottom line is he's all worried. Guess what, dude? That's all mindset. And he killed himself.
You think you're screwed.
Right. He wouldn't have been screwed. Guess who's screwed? Nobody. Nobody's screwed unless you think you're screwed. So guys, get your mind right. Go out and share this. Make sure you hashtag at Nick Santo. Follow him. Make sure you hashtag the Bomb Squad so he knows where you came from. And if you want him to speak at your event, by the way, if you guys have any events, the guy will speak. And I'm telling you, he's good. He makes people cry and laugh at the same time. Where do they book you?
You can book me at Book Nick Santo. Book Nick Santo at, what is it? Sorry. We just created it.
Booking at booknicksanto.com.
Booking at booknicksanto.com. We just did a bunch of like rehabilitation on our website. So
Well, that's where you email you at. Where do they go to book you? Just email you?
Booknicksanto.com.
booknicksanto.com.
Booknicksanto.com if you want him to speak. Dude, the guy's inspirational, if nothing else.
I appreciate you.
Because I don't know if you're going to go out there and teach them confidence or not. I just got your formula, and it will work. But it's up to them to apply that. But the guy will inspire your crew. That's for damn sure. Thanks for coming in today,
Appreciate
buddy.
you, man. Thank you.
All right, peace.